Hello and welcome to Lierop for the Grand Prix of the Benelux here in the Netherlands. My name's Paul Malin. You join us live on Sunday afternoon as we prepare for the first FIM MX2 Motocross Grand Prix race here. It's round 14 of the FIM MX2 Motocross World Championship. Well, so far this season we've seen great battles between Jeffrey Herlings and Tommy Searle. Jeremy Van Horbeek. There's no Joel Roulance here this weekend. He got hurt at Matterley Basin 2 weeks ago at the British Grand Prix, and he will be out for the remainder of the season. But Jake Nichols in 5th place can capitalise on the misfortunes of the Belgian and could slip into 4th position by the end of the day today. He's got 19 points over Jordi Tixier, and he beat him in the qualifying race yesterday. Max Anstey will be looking for a good ride as well here this weekend. Well, when we arrived on Thursday, that 1,715-metre long circuit was a flat-out drag race kind of circuit, nicely prepped. The jumps were full gas, and well, you look at the track now, which you will do in the next 10 minutes or so, it is something completely different. Big berms, big holes, big waves, big whoops, all the rest of it, and it really is going to be a physical challenge for the riders throughout the day. Remember, 2 MX2 races, 2 MX1 races as well. And we're getting ready to go down to the grid. Here's Amy.
It's round 14. We're down on the start line here in Lierop. Let's grab a word with Jeffrey Herlings. Home GP, back on the stand, perfect combination really for you.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward. You know, it's my home GP as you said, so I hope to come out with a win, take the whole shot and check out. You know, it's going to be tough. I'm in a lot of good competition, but for my home fans, I really don't want to let them down. Thanks,
Jeffrey. Have fun out there. We're also going to have a word with Glenn Coldenhoff, who yesterday had such a great qualification race. You were leading right until that last lap. Couldn't ask for a better start to the weekend.
Yeah, I hope it's going to be the same now. There's a lot of fresh air, I think, and I hope I can take a good start and make it happen today again.
Good luck out there. Before we see the MX2 race one, we're going to take a look behind the scenes at Kimi O'Reilly at Yamaha.
I started the team in 1997, Kimi O'Reilly Yamaha racing team, and we were riding in the Belgium Amateur Federation until 2009. Last year, 2011, we came to the European Championship with 2 young Belgian riders. This year is our first year that we participate in the MX2 World Championship, and it's going pretty well already until now. And last year we decided to start working with Marnik Berwitz because he had so much experience in the motocross, and he can coach the young riders really good and very well. So we took him in the team. And this year, from 2012, he is on this moment the team manager of the team, and you have to run this and coach the guys to bring them to a higher level.
Marnik, 2 young riders. Obviously, there's a lot of competition in MX2 this year. How have they felt about their first year?
Well, I think it was okay because last year European Championship was okay, but MX2 is the level is much higher, and I think also for them it was a lot of experience, and we took some points this year, and that was the important thing in the beginning of the year. So on this way we are okay.
And from your experience, what kind of advice have you been able to give them?
Well, I give them some advice, like physical training, for example. Set up the bike, I can help them a little bit, and yeah, also on the track, you know, some lines, riding the good lines. That's what I do, and keep them calm because they have a lot of stress on the race day, and that's what I do.
My first year of GP, so it always has been a dream for me to be where I am now. And last year I was riding the European Championship. Obviously, also this year the level is a lot higher, and I had my ups and downs, and I'm really happy I already took some points this year. It's hard because it's like you're racing against the top guys in the world, and I'm pretty happy about my first year, and I hope I can do some more years like this.
Well, from the moment I signed a contract, the team didn't want to put pressure on me, so they told me to train the most I could during the winter and try to do my best in the first race. So immediately, we got some good results. We said that we could have tried to score some points during the Grand Prix. I was training for the Belgian Grand Prix in Mol, where I had a big crash. I broke my breastbone and also my fibula. So now I'm getting some rest, and I hope to start to train again this weekend to come back in Italy and try to be in good shape in Teufenthal at the end of the season.
Essayer de revenir dans le top 20 à Teufenthal.
This year we did the 250 European Championship. After my results at the beginning of the season, the team proposed I do the 125 round in Bastogne in Belgium, which of course is my own country. Then I took part in the 125 World Cup. That didn't go so bad. But here they proposed I take part in the 125 Championship for next year as well.
And from your experience, what kind of advice you've been... Me. I'm broke down.
The MX2 riders are down on the grid as they prepare for their first race here in Lierop, the Benelux round of the FIM MX2 Motocross World Championship season. My name is Paul Malin. You join us live on Sunday on what is a very warm day here and set to get warmer. Jeffrey Herlings there, number 84, the Red Bull KTM rider. Our championship leader on 572 points. He's 51 clear of the Floride Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki rider. And boy, what a display he put on yesterday in the qualifying race. He made the whole shot from Glenn Coldenhoff, and then after the first tabletop jump, he fell in the next right-hander, turn 4. Lost the front end. Coldenhoff was able to avoid him, but Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, his teammate, wasn't able to do so, nor was Tommy Searle, and the two Red Bull KTMs were right at the back. And guess what? Herlings came through on the end of the first lap in 22nd position and worked his way up to first place with about 3/4 of a lap to go, passing Coldenhoff in the process. Osborne had a great ride, so too did Tonus Nichols. Van Hoorbeek also followed Herlings through into 6th position by the time the checkered flag fell. Dylan Ferrandis was 7th, Tommy Searle was 8th, Max Anstey, the Honda Garibaldi Esther rider, was 9th, and Jordi Tixier fell to 10th, actually. He was having a good ride. He got up to about 8th and then fell, lost a couple of positions. But Elliot Banks-Brown, the HM Plant KTM UK rider, started 9th, got up to 8th, and then eventually disappeared off the radar for the remaining 2 laps. So not had a chance to go and find Elliot Banks-Brown and see what his problems are or were, and hopefully everything's okay with him, and we'll see him in the race here. But the two Red Bull KTMs of Herlings and Coldenhoff up the inside. A good crowd here yesterday, an even bigger crowd today. A lot of this track, if you've never been here before, set in the forest just outside the village of Lierop. And you get the little pockets of light shining down through the trees. So what is a very bumpy track, lots of sand ruts and bumps and holes and waves and big sand berms. That's difficult enough anyway, but the little pockets of light and the little shading in the trees, most riders opting probably for a clear lens to deal with the amount of time they spend in the woods, and also to clearly see clearly the lines that they're about to be hitting. Dave Nicol, our race director, brings us under orders. The Monster Energy 15-second board goes up. That'll turn to 5. Then our man, Andy Summers, in the doghouse. He will flick the switch or pull the lever from the centre there on the grid as these guys get ready. 15-second board turns to 5. There's Herlings, 84. Coldenhoff, 25. The 338 of Zach Osborne and number 7 Arnold Tonus, but a great start there for Herlings, and look how much room he was able to get there. But Coldenhoff meets him to the outside, but he's going to put the nose across him right there, going into turn 2, and the crowd erupt here. That's Jeffrey Herlings. Well, it's a repeat of what happened yesterday in the qualifying race. Hopefully this time, though, Herlings keeps it up on 2 wheels, because this is where he fell yesterday. There, Dylan Ferrandis going through. Tonus in 3rd there, number 7 on the Monster Energy Yamaha. And we're on board just like we were yesterday with Glenn Coldenhoff. Oh, he goes down! And he takes Tonus with him. He got cross-rutted coming through that left-hand turn. And he went down. Well, he wanted a good start. He got one. He wanted to get a good result. Well, he's not going to get it from there. And our onboard camera, the Star Gem Racing KTM of Glenn Coldenhoff, finds himself buried at turn 6. But look at this. This was a nice shallow wave section yesterday. But Herlings was some 6 or 7 seconds quicker during the second half of the qualifying race yesterday. Look at this. Just gets it wrong there. The front goes too high. The back drops in. Tonus was already committed, going around the outside. And as Coldenhoff ran it wide, there was nowhere for Tonus to go, and everybody else goes through. Jake Nichols just getting caught in that as well, so it would have been a few riders going up the inside of Jake Nichols then. But Nichols still there in 7th position, according to our split time. So we've got Herlings from Banks Brown in 2nd position now. Tommy Searle in 3rd, Dylan Ferrandis 4th, Van Hoorbeek in 5th. But this is going to be a lesson in how to ride sand here from this kid this weekend. Look at that, cornering like he's on rails. He's been saying, actually, jumping long through the rhythm section. Yeah, look at that, just got it wrong. And Tonus was committed, couldn't go anywhere, tried to avoid him. Oh, look at that, right in the back end. So disappointment then for Glenn Coldenhoff, because he's taken a bit of a knock there as well in the hip. Picks himself up, though. End of the first unofficial lap. There's Tommy Searle. So we've got Herlings, Van Hoorbeek, Ferrandis, Searle in 4th, Banks Brown in 5th, Anstey in 6th, Nichols 7, Tixier 8, Osborne 9, Larson 10, Chervelin 11th. We're back on board with Coldenhoff. Chervelin 11, Tellier 12, Roman Feber is 13, Kromov is 14, Arnold Tonus is 15th, Tonkov, Lupino, Rick Satink, Robert Just, and Ivo Monticelli round out the first 20 riders. Then a little bit further back, we've got Jose Boutron, Davis Ivanov, Jeffrey DeWolf, Valentin Guillot down in 24th place. Coldenhoff buried way down the order. He's overtaken a handful of riders at the moment, but the number 22 there, the Rockstar Bud Racing Kawasaki rider, Dylan Ferrandis, looked pretty good yesterday. Was nice and smooth, and I'm sure Jackie Vimon, the team trainer, will be telling him just to try and maintain a nice rhythm and a good consistent pace throughout. There's Van Hoorbeek just ahead of him. So Van Hoorbeek 2nd, just here, number 89. Dylan Ferrandis, the number 22, is in 3rd place. We'll give you lap times in a minute as they come through when Herlings goes over the line for the first official time. Kai Rowley was doubling that yesterday in the MX1 category. Long look over his shoulder there from Van Hoorbeek to see exactly where Dylan Ferrandis is. Well, he was about 2.5 seconds down on him at the start of the lap. Oh, almost losing a foot there, and going down was Van Hoorbeek, but managed just to get back on the gas and pull himself out of trouble. That rear wheel digging in nicely just at the right time. But yeah, going back to Herlings and what he was saying, he wants to make it his mission. He said if he gets out of the start, he wants to try and lap everybody here. And certainly he intends to win by at least a minute. Well, Herlings goes through 1:55.3 on his first lap and is already how far clear now of his teammate as he goes through. 13.6 seconds clear. And look at this lap time here, 1:55.3, 2:01.4 for Van Hoorbeek, 2:03.5 for Ferrandis, 2:04.5 for Tommy Searle, 2:04.9 for Anstey. Banks Brown still there in 6th position, so it must have been some kind of problem. Either he crashed and couldn't remount, or some mechanical problem maybe with Elliot Banks Brown in the qualifying race yesterday, but it hasn't put him off as he's there in 6th position. Tommy Searle, though, the 100 for Reed Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki rider, 51 points down on Jeffrey Herlings in the championship chase at the moment. Obviously, we've got 3 rounds, including this one. We go to the European round next week at Faenza in Italy, close to Bologna. And then a couple of weeks after that, we go to the final round at Teufenthal, not so far from Leipzig in Germany. Then, of course, we've got the Monster Energy Motocross of Nations on the 29th and 30th of September at Lommel. But Searle coming under pressure from the number 6, Anstey, who weaves his way to the inside. Whoa, Tommy Searle did well to carry that momentum round there, though. See, all the jump faces have been prepped just before the start of this second race. They might get prepped again after the MX1 first race, but the rest of the track will stay the same. I was talking to James Dobb, the former world champion about 20 minutes before the start of the race here, and he was saying track looks evil, and he didn't mind riding the sand at all. But this battle here, Tommy Searle and Max Anstey for 4th place. The Honda Garibaldi Ester rider keeps it low. He's on the right here in that yellow helmet. You know, we've got Jake Nichols is that. Nichols goes down at the end of the straight. Oh, Elliot Banks-Brown, sorry. So Elliot Banks-Brown goes down. I thought the doesn't look too clever either, get himself up, gone down hard, and he will do there as well at the end of the straight, pretty fast, and big holes there into that left-hand turn. Thought for a minute the Star Jam Racing KTM rider Jake Nichols was maybe wearing a new outfit for this race this weekend, but obviously Elliot Banks-Brown then, so goes out of 6th place. Herlings though 20.6 seconds clear after 2 complete laps. A 1:57.5 compared to the 2:04.5 of Van Hoorbeek. Tommy Searle and Dylan Ferrandis down in 3rd and 4th, with Anstey there as well in 5th place, and they're all in the 2:05s apart from Anstey, who's on a 2:04, sets his fastest lap of the race this time around. Switching it to the right-hand side, gets bigger distance, and Tommy Searle is going to run it up the inside here. On the right-hand side, a big leap through. And Max Anstey, who's been selected, probably controversially, to ride the big bike, the 450 at the Monster Energy Motocross Nations at the end of the month, over Sean Simpson, who's been an MX1 rider throughout the whole of the season. He's really showing his sand riding expertise now as he goes past Tommy Searle and pushes his fellow Brit down to 5th position. On board here with Coldenhoff. Bit of bar banging going on. He gave Herlings so much room up the inside, and then Herlings just backed it off there. Had to, because he realised Coldenhoff was coming back. But you watch on the left-hand side, around about now, Herlings picks it up nice and early. He's going to come across from the left-hand side, up on the pegs. And that's all we've seen of him so far. Everybody flying through. Zach Osborne didn't make a good start, but he's there in 7th place at the moment. And Anstey now, as he goes past the Union flag, finds himself on the rear wheels of the Rockstar Bud Racing Kawasaki of Dylan Ferrandis here, number 22 in that orange clothing. So this the battle for 3rd place. Herlings still lapping in the 50s, down in 1:59 at the moment, as Max Anstey has gained massive amounts of bike lengths over Dylan Ferrandis, so you can expect him to go through, probably down the avenue. After the tabletop, and the first wave's going out in the opposite direction from where they are now, if they were to go straight on, but look at that, 24.5 seconds clear at the head of the field. Jeffrey Herlings over Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, although he did say in the press conference afterwards, after qualification, you know, he'd like to win by a minute, but retracted that and then said, but whether you win by a minute or by a second, it doesn't matter, it's the points I want. But there's a battle for 4th at the moment. 3rd, Dylan Ferrandis and Max Anstey. Max Anstey not able to get through at the end of the avenue, but this time he switches it to the inside and takes the shortest route through. His sand riding technique slightly better than Dylan Ferrandis, jumping longer as well, keeping the momentum, trying to land on as firm a ground as possible, but this time he switches to the inside, doubles his way in nicely, and makes Dylan Ferrandis work around the outside, who's not giving in here. He'll have the line going round here, and it's this next right-hander over the jump, so Ferrandis not prepared to back down, and he goes down. He loses the front end. He was fighting all the way through there in that right-hand turn. Jake Nichols goes through on the Nostalgia Jam Racing KTM, so Ferrandis then, well, that'll take a little bit out of him as well, because you're pushing to try and stay consistent. You lose it, you pick yourself up, and then you've got to get back on the case and pick up the speed again. So he loses at least, what, 3 positions there. 1 to Anstey, 1 to Tommy Searle, and 1 to Jake Nichols, who will now move up in the 5th position. And his closest challenger in the championship, Jake Nichols, Jordi Tixier, down in 12th place. So after... right, here's Coldenhoff up the inside of Boutron. Gets it done there. And then the 171 of Rick Satting on the Elksny Latvia Honda. He's going to go around him or up the inside. Cuts to the inside here through the three waves. Riders could double here yesterday and then double into the right-hander. Then the next left is where he fell on the first lap. There's our race leader, Jeffrey Herlings. Oh, nicely launching himself through there, carrying as much momentum as possible. Everyone else seemed to wheelie into that first hole, but Herlings able to jump his way through there. Being told to use higher gears, so less revs. Obviously, fuel could be an issue, and obviously that's the thing that KTM will want to keep an eye on as well. It's okay, Jeffrey's saying I want to win by a minute or lap everybody, but obviously the faster you go, the harder you ride, the more fuel you're going to use. And I know these 4-strokes are more fuel efficient than the 2-stroke. Ooh, that looks a bit naughty. Yeah. Zach Osborne just going by his teammate, Arnold Tonus. And almost losing it as well in the next turn. But Tonus has recovered well. He's in 8th place now. Just been passed by his teammate, Zach Osborne, and goes into 7th. Here's Koldenhoff now in the points after that fall on the first lap. So going back to the fuel scenario, talking about that with Jeffrey Herlings a moment ago. Obviously, if he's revving it, and the team think that he's revving it as well, they just want him to hook a gear. So if he's in 4th, being 5th, if he's in 3rd, getting in 4th if they can, just to reduce the rev load. And we've got a rider down, facing the wrong way at the end of the straight. There's that Larson. There aren't too many Suzukis out there. So if that's the case, that'll be Larson from 10th place. And it is. So Larson losing quite a few positions through there. Right, we've had 4 laps complete. Jeffrey Herlings, the only man over the line in 5th with 5 laps complete. So we've got Herlings from Van Hoorbeek, Anstey 3rd, Searle 4th, Nichols 5th, Ferrandis 6th, Zach Osborne is in 7th, 8th is Tonus, 9th is Tellier, 10th is Larson, 11th is Andrea Chervelin, Tixier, we just saw him just a moment ago, the 911 in 12th. This is Alessandro Lupino in the Monster Energy, that flash of green helmet just going through on the Ritchie Racing Husqvarna. Then Alexander Tomkov, the teammate to Max Anstey, in 14th place. Cyril Klein-Kromov is 15th. Roman Febvre, the Bodo Schmidt Motorsport KTM, is 16th. Robert Just 17th. Ivan Monticelli, Glenn Koldenhoff, and Jose Butron down in 20th position. Elliot Banks-Brown out of the race after that fall at the end of that first lap, second lap. 5 laps complete. We've got just under 22 minutes to go, and already Jeffrey Herlings is nearly 34 seconds clear of his teammate. And look at that. These guys are great riders, but even the sand can make even the best riders look ordinary sometimes. Tonus has found a way back past his teammate, Zach Osborne there, the number 7, going past the 338. Here's Tonus here, number 7. A bit of a heavy landing there. When you watch somebody like Herlings ride around with such poise and finesse, and then you look at everybody else doing their best just to survive, it seems, and they're riding the sand very, very well compared to you or I, but compared to the silky smooth style of Jeffrey Herlings, who gets over that first hole there in the background where Zach Osborne slams into it. These guys making it look very, very difficult indeed, but still cannot take anything away from them. They're still 4, 5, 6 seconds a lap slower than Herlings, even at this stage of the race. His lap last time around, Herlings, was 2:01.8 compared to Van Hoorbeek's 2:06.2, and Max Anstey's 2:05.4, who's the second fastest rider on track last time around. With 5 laps complete, wait for Van Hoorbeek still to come over the line. What was it, 33 seconds before? It's now 38 seconds. As Tonus pulls a tear off and goes after this guy here, Dylan Ferrandis, number 22, the Rockstar Bud Racing Kawasaki in the orange. Again, Herlings landing deep in the base of that last double there. All about full momentum. Jordan hangs over the fence there with a board for Arnold Tonus as he looks to try and find a way into 4th place, or into 6th place, because just ahead of him, Jake Nichols in 5th. Jake Nichols is about 13 seconds further up the track on the Nissan JM Racing KTM, and Ferrandis goes down. And once again, it just shows you how this ground here at Lierop just bites back when you don't expect it. He was going through there so nicely yesterday as well. He's going to need to take a couple of deep breaths. And you really do have to stay relaxed as best you can. Try not to fight the bike, but he got the takeoff wrong. He got pitched as well. The front didn't get as high as it needed to. And then he got beat up by his own bike as well in the process. Just watch this, just short. The front, then he lost his feet as well and his balance. Oh, rear wheel just clobbing him in the head, in the arm. And both the Monster Energy Yamahas go through, Arnold Tonus and Zach Osborne. Back with Coldenhoff here. Now in 14th place on the Nastan JM Racing. This is where Ferrandis just crashed a moment ago. And Coldenhoff has, well, that's Roman Febvre just ahead of him. So Roman Febvre has passed him. Because Roman Febvre was down in 16th just as they came over the line a moment ago. And we're only about 6 corners in. Osborne's had a problem, or has he? Oh, look at that, still can't get himself started. Dylan Ferrandis, he's second in the European 250 Championship last year. Zakina is out as well, the 125 European champion from last year, the JTEC Yamaha rider. He goes out. Tell you what, there were a lot of fried clutches yesterday in terms of a lot of riders survived the race, but walking around the perimeter of the circuit, as you have to do, you have to kind of keep walking your way around to see everything. And once I got into the trees yesterday, all you could smell was clutch and burning oil and that kind of thing from MX1 and MX2 guys, where they're hammering the clutches around this tough Lierop circuit. Tonus in 6th position now. 7 laps complete. Is that Coldenhoff? I think it is, judging by the crowd reaction. Oh, that's Herlings coming round to lap riders already. Well, he has been probably from the 2nd lap, but 173 Valentin Guyot. He's lapped up to 20th place at the moment. That's Guyot just ahead of him. Just look how easy, making it look, attacking everything. Goes past the Swiss rider Guyot. Oh, it's Evan Habe, 112, so even further in the field. Number up to 17th now is lapped. There's Jeffrey Herlings. And this really is a demolition of the highest order from Jeffrey Herlings here, number 84. And with 16.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go, we're still waiting for Van Hoorbeek to come over the line, but it's around about 40-odd seconds now, as it is. Jeffrey Herlings, our race leader. There he is, already well into his 9th lap. Jeremy Van Hoorbeek coming through over the line now, and the gap between 1st and 2nd is 50 seconds. And that is just phenomenal with 16 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Jeffrey Herlings really riding the wheels up that KTM of his, but making it look so easy. We've got yellow flags over the other side of the Monster Energy tabletop jump. Golovkin goes down on the downside, the Russian, the number 300. That obviously upsets the balance of Van Hoorbeek just a little bit there. Probably didn't get the drive that he wanted through that next turn as he gets back up on the pegs to attack this tough Lierop circuit. Yeah, Golovkin just looks like he's rang his bell a little bit there. Looks a little bit uneasy on his feet. Gone over the handlebars, I would assume. But the number 300 just picking himself up. Van Hoorbeek 2nd, 50 seconds down on our race leader. Max Anstey just 9 seconds further back and 2 seconds quicker that time around than Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. So Max Anstey could be knocking on the door here for his best result of the season. He's not far away from this guy here who's got that wave section completely wrong. And just bouncing his way through there. The Red Bull KTM, the rider in the background that you just saw was a back marker. We're waiting for Anstey to go through. And look at that, Van Hoorbeek, sorry, Herlings already over the line again. Be interesting to see where, when we get another shot of Herlings, exactly who he's tailing and who he's lapping. There's Lupino. and Tixier. So Tixier 9-11. He's in 8th place. Alessandro Lupino there, the number 77 in the red on the right-hand side. Going after. Oh, and Lupino goes down. Just loose the front end, keeps the engine running, or he tries to. We've already seen how difficult it is to start once these things are hot. When Ferrandis, yeah, look at that, dumps the clutch. Make sure it's in first gear at very least. Revs, oh, Osborne's out as well. So Osborne out of 7th place. That's just after the split section. Oh, just before, so after the waves, actually. Osborne been down on the left side, the sleeve on the UFO shirt rolled up over the elbow. Just needs to try to find a bit of breathing space to regroup, but he's got riders breathing down his neck now. There's Tixier. So Tixier going through. Number 9-11 on the Red Bull KTM. So Osborne going from 7th, hasn't lost too much time, but he's about to lose a position to Tixier here. If he can't regroup and take a deep breath and recover quickly. He senses a danger though. Trying to move across on the young French kid, but Tixier up the inside on the right-hand side, left-hand side now, who jumps long into the penultimate corner. Gets up the inside of, well, I'm not sure if it was the 15 or no, the 5-11, Kieran Scheel of New Zealand. Osborne is back on the pace. But Herlings, 203.3 compared to the 205 or 208.3. Van Hoorbeek 55 seconds down. Anstey 7 seconds behind now, so hasn't had a great lap that time around. Lost a second to Van Hoorbeek. Did Max Anstey in 3rd position. Tommy Searle 7 seconds further back in 4th. Surely damage limitation for the Fluid Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki rider. Jake Nichols only 7 seconds further back as well in 5th place on what is a very, very good ride. So 3 Brits, 3rd, 4th and 5th. As Tixier weaving from one side of the track to defend his line here from Zach Osborne. The Monster Energy Yamaha on the right-hand side, 3:38, the American. Zach Osborne, who's had consecutive podiums, 3rd overall in Matelic 2 weeks ago, 3rd overall at Lockett, the Czech Republic, the round before that. So he'll be wanting to do it the same again here this weekend, but circuit brutal. Doesn't look anything on the TV, but you see the speed that this kid here is hitting everything. You watch him here launch himself onto that second one. Jeffrey Herlings, number 84. The momentum that he carries is just unreal. And you can see what he means now when he goes to places like Valkenswaard, which is a very tough circuit to go to anyway. But when he says he only beat somebody there by 30 seconds and says, oh, but the thing with Valkenswaard, yeah, it's sand, but it's not a Lommel or a Lierop. You can see exactly what he's on about. And look at him already on the back of Tixier in 7th position here. And that's Zach Osborne just ahead of him, and he's still got 11 minutes and 20 seconds to go, plus 2 laps. So he could do something which I don't think I've ever witnessed before or ever recall happening in the history of the sport. And that is that he could even lap up to 2nd position, which would be his teammate. But still got a ways to go on that, because the gap was a minute last time around. It's taken him this long to get there. But Herlings has just passed Tixier, is now going to go by Zach Osborne. And Zach Osborne just moves aside and just wonders how on earth Jeffrey Herlings, our race leader, has found his way up and lapped Zach Osborne, who's in 7th position. There's Coldenhoff banging bars in 11th. As he goes past pit lane, so the Nostalgia Racing KTM rider having a great ride through the field. And now in 10th place, having just passed Alessandro Lupino. So Van Hoorbeek still yet to come over the line. Great ride for Glenn Coldenhoff. 11th in the championship at the moment. Best Grand Prix, 4th overall. Kegums, Latvia, round 10 of the championship, where he took an 8th and a 5th. In fact, he took a 6th and a 5th. In Brazil, we're getting ready to go down to pit lane and getting ready to speak to Jackie Martins, the team owner for Nostalgia Racing KTM, and let's see what he has to say.
Joining me in the pit lane, Jackie Martins. Glenn Coldenoff had a great qualification race yesterday, made a great start to this race until that crash, but he's doing such a great job of coming back.
Yeah, Glenn is doing very well. He showed yesterday already with the second place in the qualifying race. Today he was whole shot together with Jeffrey. He crashed the fourth corner, but still he has a comeback now and is already on 9th position. Thus I hope he can finish 7th. Well, he's good trained, and I hope I will see him in 7th place.
Thanks, Jackie.
Jackie Martins, no stranger riding in the sand, was at the time when he raced one of the best sand riders in the world. So obviously able to offer these kids like Jake Nichols and Glenn Coldenoff a lot of experience. There is Coldenoff. He was 10th last time around. We'll wait to pick up the guys ahead of him. But this will take a lot out of this kid, having to fight through like that. After going down at turn 5, or turn 6, the left-hander, before they head down the avenue. The first long straight on the circuit. So Coldenoff then in 10th. He's 5 seconds behind Valentin Tellier. Dylan Ferrandis there being lapped, the number 22, being lapped by the 84 of Herlings. So Ferrandis manages to pick himself up after that fall, but he's outside of the points at the moment, as you can see. But with 8+2 to go, so about another 12 or 13 minutes for our race leader, Jeffrey Herlings. And having completed 12 laps, we've got Jeffrey Herlings still from his Red Bull teammate, Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. Max Anstey still there in 3rd place. 4th is Tommy Searle. 5th is Jake Nichols. 6th is Arnold Tonus. We just saw him there, number 7. That's him there on the right. 8th, Jordi Tixier. 9, Valentin Tellier. 10th for Coldenoff. 11th, Tonkoff. 12th, Lupino. 13th, Nick Larson. Roman Febra, 14th. Evan Habe is 15th. Valentin Guyot is 16th. 17th, Rick Satink. He'll be pleased with that, as will Cyril Klein-Kromoff, Julian Lieber on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki Europe MX2 machine, and Robert Just down in 20th position. But for Tommy Searle, he'll be losing just a few points here. What, 7 more he will lose? So that'll be a 58-point deficit that Tommy Searle will have going into the second race here in a couple hours' time, a little later on this afternoon. From one side of the track to the other, brutal, brutal, this Lierop circuit. And the good news is that it's just a little bit overcast at the moment, so no little pockets of light bursting through the trees onto the holes and the waves and the bumps. Nico de Waal there, number 18, he's out of the points at the moment, being lapped on that yellow Suzuki. But normally, little pockets of light bursting through right in those corners in the holes and stuff, and you don't really see the lines clearly until you hit them. Almost looks flat. Then you get a bit of a rude awakening. But look at that, Tommy Searle just rolling through there. You see, we saw Herlings a couple of laps ago, the fastest sand rider in the world, it has to be said. Just still carrying that same momentum that he did through there on the first lap. But Tommy Searle here, number 100, goes past Vyacheslav Golovkin, the number 300. We saw a crash, or saw the back end of the crash. Or is that the 600? No, that's Davis Ivanov's. So he's still circulating at the moment. There's Tonus, or is it Osborne? Osborne, 338, still in 7th position. 5.5+2 to go. Jeffrey Herlings has completed 13 laps. So too now has Van Hoorbeek. He's 1:17 clear. Here's Jeffrey Herlings of the 2nd place rider. There's Tixier. Just coming through now at the bottom of the screen. He's still behind Zach Osborne. So Osborne really can't afford to let up here. So with 5+2 to go, Herlings 1:17 clear of Van Hoorbeek. Anstey just 3 seconds further back now of the Belgian. So the battle is going to be on for 2nd position between Van Hoorbeek and Max Anstey. Tommy Searle about 20 seconds further back in 4th, with Jake Nichols having a good ride in 5th. Then it's Tonus, Osborne, Tixier, Tellier and Coldenoff up to 10th. Jordi Tixier just doing his best to now keep it up on two wheels for the remaining 4.5 minutes plus 2 laps. And from his point of view, with his lap times, that's another 2 minutes and 30 seconds at the very least, because this track will deteriorate even more over the next few laps. So probably just using this time now to take a bit of a breather. That's Coldenhoff. He's closing in, though, on Tixier and could still possibly manage a 9th place finish here. 2:13.8 for Tixier last time around. Valentin Tellier, has he gone missing? Oh, there's Coldenhoff, goes through. We've lost Tellier. So Tellier's gone missing. Oh, there he is, in blue. So Tixier 2:13.8, so only half a second in it between him and Coldenhoff, so may not be challenging for that 8th place now then. Rockstar Blood Racing Kawasaki, number 37. Valentin Tellier goes through the part where it caught his teammate out. Just coming out of that turn 4 into turn 5. And just manages to get away with it there, but had to work very hard there, did Tellier. Just over 3 minutes remain. We're looking at Jake Nichols here, number 45, the Star JM Racing, KTM, sorry, number 84, Jeffrey Herlings. That's the race leader here, Red Bull KTM, who's still pushing on, 2:03.3, 4 or 5 seconds quicker than Herlings. Anstey's made a big mistake. He's now 15 seconds down on Van Hoorbeek, but still there in 3rd position, but only, well, he's actually got good time on Tommy Searle actually at the moment, but Herlings goes through. About 4 laps to go in this race. As we prepare to go down to talk to Stefan Everts, I think, at Red Bull KTM Racing down in pit lane, obviously with Amy, but it's been an absolute demolition job here so far for 84 Herlings. Got the distinctive Netherlands flag encrypted into the number on the back of his Alpine Star race jersey. As he comes up to lap another rider, probably even twice. Here we go down the pit lane.
Do you want to be in the pit lane? Stefan Everts, Jeffrey Herlings, just on absolutely another planet.
He's like an animal in the sand. You know, we expect him to be very strong in the sand, but to be that fast and that strong is unbelievable. He's the fastest man on the planet on the sand, that's for sure.
Thanks, Stefan.
And look at this, this is the area still doubling into there and then doubling at the end. The momentum as he just goes by these back markers. Who, and that's Tommy Searle he's gone by, isn't it? I think it is. Mika Dewar goes out, so if that's Tommy Searle, then he's lapped up to 4th position. And the crowd out there, you can hear them, because they know what they've just seen. Tommy Searle being lapped by Jeffrey Herlings in a race. There is Searle on the left-hand side. Here's Herlings. And there's Boutron. Boutron down in 20th place, so he's been lapped twice now. And this really is a phenomenal sight that we're seeing here from Jeffrey Herlings. Look at the crowd, they're up on their feet, they're just loving what they're seeing. Tommy Searle getting a little bit of abuse from the fans there. Hasn't even looked back, look, already going away in the opposite direction. What must that do for the confidence? Tommy Searle will probably bounce back and win both races in Faenza next week. That's probably what it'll do, but realises now that Herlings not worth fighting in the sand. 3 laps to go. And very much in the same way that when Herlings crashed right in front of the main crowd at Matterley Basin just 2 weeks ago, Tommy Searle getting a similar reception from the majority of the Dutch fans right in the main sort of spectator areas, picking his way through the deepest holes around this Lierop circuit. He knows, though, that he can still bring it home in 4th position and pick up 18 points towards his championship. You can tell from the body language, though, I won't say that the effort level isn't there. He's still having to work very hard just to keep it straight, but he certainly backed it right off. A 2:18.4 compared to the 2:05. 13 seconds difference that time around between Jeffrey Herlings and Tommy Searle. Just outstanding. See him just having to work hard there, Tommy Searle. Every inch of this racetrack proving difficult for him and Van Hoorbeek and Anstey and everybody else, bar our race leader, Jeffrey Herlings, who's close now to taking the 2-lap board. There's Van Hoorbeek. He goes through to start his 3 laps to go. And just going to see, because Herlings will not be far away from breaking the beam now. Keeping one eye on the screen, one eye on the timing monitor. Herlings has completed 16 laps. Here's Van Hoorbeek going through turn 5 and 6 as he starts his way down the avenue. And Herlings goes through now, so it's still very possible that Herlings could get done here. Sorry, that Van Hoorbeek could also get lapped. Just backing off and all the rest of it. And what a result that would be, but waiting for, obviously, Van Hoorbeek to go through. He's there. He's a long way from going over the line, which means Max Anstey also is after his mistake. Here's Anstey in the yellow helmet there on the right-hand side. And that's Jake Nichols. No, it's not. It's 112. Evan Habe. So Habe still in 16th position. I thought that Nichols had found his way up onto the rear end of Max Anstey, maybe making another mistake there, but Anstey still good there in 3rd position, it would appear at the moment, on the Garibaldi Honda Ester machine. Based himself out here for 2 or 3 years as a schoolboy, did Max Anstey. Gets a face full of roost there as Habe rolls the downside. That was a speed jump yesterday in the middle. Quick pull on the roll-offs for Anstey there on the left-hand side. Works his way jumping into the berm, keeping the momentum, landing on the downside of one of those holes. Evan Habe hasn't looked back, doesn't realise it's Anstey there that's coming alongside him, about to be lapped. Or is it Guillot? Guillot, actually. 173. So Herlings already 2 laps to go. There's Van Hoorbeek. He's in 2nd position. The Red Bull KTM rider. Remember, he was starting his way down the avenue as Herlings came over the line the last time around, and that might still be the case now. Yeah, so no time gain then from Herlings. He'll be looking to, well, there's Evan Habe, the 112, and just ahead of them is Valentin Guillot and Max Anstey, so he still might lap Max Anstey, which would be 3rd position in this race. Bouncing his way through there, look, just the balance and the poise. I can't emphasize how difficult it is to ride at that speed around somewhere as hellish as this. In fact, there is Anstey just at the end of the straight now. But up on the pegs, letting the bike do all the work, but it's the way you attack everything and just so relaxed on the bike. And we used to say Stefan Everts was the best sand rider in how he attacked everything and did things differently, but Herlings just making light. Look, doubling through there, still attacking this on the gas, using that to springboard, keep that momentum, and he's closed down about 15 seconds on Anstey since he came over the line. That's Max Anstey here in 3rd place in the yellow helmet. Here's our race leader on his final lap of the race. And the Dutch fans here really getting behind him. He's not far off of doing what he said he wanted to do, lapping everybody in the field. And here's Herlings now going up the inside of Max Anstey. That'll be another scalp for him. Anstey just looks across in amazement. And can't believe that it's been done there on the final lap, but the crowd love it. Look at that, the reception. And you can hear the commentator out on the circuit as well. They're laughing because they know what they've just seen. We all do. We've just seen the best display of riding in the sand from anybody else in the world. And Herlings backs off about now, actually, crosses the line to take the checkered flag. Did this yesterday in the qualifying race, held his hands out as he won from coming from the back of the field. And what a display from Herlings. He wins it. Now it's just a matter of how far. His lap time then was a 2:04 on that last lap. Can't believe it. Look at that. Well, he can, but he's there to say, well, what's the big deal? Heinz Kinnigadner on the right-hand side congratulates him. There's Valentina Rani. Ruben, here's practice mechanic. Here's Tommy Searle. No, he's not in second position. He's in fourth place, a lap down on Herlings. And you've got to feel that everybody that goes back now will just feel demoralised. Look at that. Big smile. And look at the difference in body language from our race winner to the guy who finished in fourth place, Tommy Searle, but still 18 points on the board for him. Waiting for, well, we know Anstey was lapped, so Van Hoorbeek, one of the last guys out on the track. Oh, look at that. Valentin Guillot, I think, having to push his bike over the line. So Valentin Guillot, any points that he may have had. And there is, no, not Van Hoorbeek yet. Here's Van Hoorbeek. He's still fighting. Max Anstey will know he'll be third. He's going to be second. This guy here, 89. Jake Nichols, so great ride from him. Van Hoorbeek in the orange, the Red Bull KTM, number 89. Going to be a Red Bull KTM 1-2. And as we said a moment ago, what's the gap? 2:07. He obviously backed it off a little bit, but Herlings' last lap was a 2:04. He could have been lapped. He could have been lapped. It was possible. And I'm sure someone will probably have a word with him after this first race, Jeffrey Herlings, and say, actually, you could have lapped second. And that might be what he tries to do in the second race. But a phenomenal performance from Jeffrey Herlings as he wins the first race here in convincing fashion. Van Hoorbeek comes home eventually 2 minutes and 7 behind the leader in second position, and Max Anstey, we saw him get lapped to finish in third. So Jeffrey Herlings well in control as he looks forward to race 2 a little later on today. Van Hoorbeek eventually goes back, and I think his teammate Jeffrey Herlings already had a shower, got changed, and getting ready to do it all over again. Getting ready to bring you the results, the official confirmation now that everybody is off the track. Jeffrey Herlings, that's about as clean as he stayed the whole moto, wins easily, 2:07 over Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, a Red Bull Racing 1-2. Max Anstey was third, Tommy Searle was fourth, and Jake Nichols fifth. So 3 Brits, third, fourth and fifth. In fact, that's the Motocross Nations team right there. Arnold Tonus was sixth, and Zach Osborne, Jordi Tixier, Glenn Coldenhoff, Alex Tonkoff, Alessandro Lupino, Valentin Tellier in 12th, Nikolai Larsen 13th, Roman Fevre, Evan Habe, Julian Lieber, Jose Boutron, Cyril Klein-Kromov, Nick Kuenberg, and Robert Just, the Latvian, picking up 1 championship point here in that first race. The Bullet, more like a missile in that first race.
Als het goed is, hebben wij de gegevens allemaal die wij nodig dieren hebben. Moet ik even gaan zoeken.
Jeffrey Herlings continues to lead the World Championship then, but obviously the points have gone out somewhat now. Searle now on 539, so that's 58 points. Van Hoorbeek stays third. Nichols now goes fourth. Was only 8 points behind Roulance, and obviously Jake Nichols picking up 16 points there, goes 8 points clear. Also puts a little bit of distance between himself and Tixier as well. Tixier coming home in 8th place, only picking up 13 points. So another 5 points gained as well. In fact, he was 19 points behind, was Jordi Tixier before that first race. Max Ansi would have picked up points and gained on Dylan Ferrandis, so he'll stay there in 7th position. But Jose Boutron may have just lost out to Alessandro Lupino, maybe.
Jeffrey Herlings, as expected, looking completely comfortable out on this track, but it's your first time.
Yeah, it's my first time on this track, and it's not that I practiced so much. I just did a few times beginning of the year, and you know, I was feeling really good. You know, it was amazing. Put down the whole shot, and just won with about 2 minutes of front, and lapped up to second place. Just my teammate Jeremy stayed in the same lap. So, you know, I'm just so pumped. You know, riding went so good, so I hope to do the same second moto and come out with a win. And you know, Red Bull KTM Racing put down a lot of hard work to make me have such a good bike, and thanks to them I'm here.
We'll see you later.
Well, if there was an award at the moment for Performance of the Year award, so far that would have to be it. We've seen some pretty heroic displays as well from people riding through from the back of the field, but Jeffrey Herlings, complete dominance in this first race here at Lierop, as he decimated the field by more than 2 minutes there. You heard it himself. From the man himself, sorry. As the only guy to finish on the same lap was his teammate, Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. Of course, he's getting ready to speak to Amy down by the podium area. Here's Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. What did he make of his first race here at Lierop? Bear in mind, we've still got a race to go this afternoon, so he'll be pleased with that, though, because he's taken points off Tommy Searle. Here he is. Here's Jeremy Van Hoorbeek.
Jeremy, I spoke to you before, and you said you weren't feeling 100%, but you still made a pretty great job out there on that first moto.
Yeah, you know, I was sick all week, and I feel terrible at the moment, but, you know, the sand riding, I know how to do it, so I pushed in the beginning, and I made a gap, and then I just rode my own pace, and the whole moto, and managed to finish second, and I'm happy about that, and I hope I can finish on the podium today again, because it's been 2 weeks now not on the podium, and I want to be back on there. So, but I'm really happy, and I want to give this moto to my friend Witse Brackman, who injured his shoulder again, and he has some bad luck, and I want to give it to him.
Best of luck for second race.
So Jeremy Van Hoorbeek feeling a little bit under the weather then, so that doesn't look good then for the second moto, does it? But I'm sure he'll battle along, and his aim this weekend is to get on the podium.
Max, congratulations. Nice to see you in that top 3. You looked pretty comfortable out there on the sand.
Yeah, I timed the gate perfect and got a good jump. I've been working on that, and you know, I passed a few guys at the beginning. I got around Tommy, and then I was making a charge on Van Hoorbeek, and then I went down. And you know, it was a shame, but I really felt like I was strong here. I feel like, you know, this track I can make the difference up by riding, but I just can't believe Jeffrey. I mean, man, I used to beat him around here. I tell you what, we'll be back, but not today, not yet. My time's coming. I'll be there. I'll be strong, and keep working, and hopefully the second moto I can time that gate good again and get inside that top 3. And you know, still the best result so far this year, and I'm happy to be able to move around these guys and feel like I can pass them and get through them. So that was good. Next race is coming up. I just want to thank all the sponsors, you know, Giacomo Garibaldi, Honda, Hester, and Armour Energy for all the support this year. And you know, we've got a few more rounds left, and we just want to keep getting out front and hopefully fight up.